All right. So, chapter 8. Going to be switching over, dealing with decimals, fractions, percents. So, starting off right off the bat here with just converting them back and forth. Going back to the last lessons from chapter 7. Remember, we were solving for the unknown variable here in this inequality. So, first thing we're going to do is get rid of this 8. So, if it's minus 8, we're going to add 8 to both sides. It cancels on that side. Negative 9 and 8 makes it a negative 1. We bring our sign down. K over 2 means divide, so opposite of divide is going to be to times. So we're going to times by 2 on both sides to cancel that left side out. So K would be bigger than negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. All right. But moving on to fractions, decimals, percent. So if we go from a fraction to a decimal, we're just going to divide the top by the bottom. So that'll give us our decimal. Simple as that. When we go from decimal to a percent, we're going to move the decimal 2 places to the right. So let me go back here. So say we have 3 over 5. If we go 5 on the outside, 3 on the inside, we'd put our decimal, make that 30, which would be 6. So minus 30, which is 0. So our answer here would be 0.6. So top divided bottom. Moving it from a decimal to a percent. So if it's 0.18, we go once, twice, new decimal is going to be there. So 18 is what it would go to. And don't forget your percent sign. If we go percent to a decimal, so say we start out at that 18%. If you don't see a decimal, it's always on the right side of the number. So we're going to go 2 to the left this time, so 2 the other way. So 1, 2. New decimal is going to be in front. So 0.18 would be that equivalency. So keep in mind when you're going from a decimal to percent, you're making the number bigger. So that's why we move to the right. Moving percent to a decimal, getting smaller. So that's why we move to the left. Now, percent to a fraction. I've included this nice little chart here that hits a lot of the major ones. Don't forget, if it's like 70%, 80%, something like that, it's just 8 over 10, which would be 4 over 5, sort of a thing. You can always put that over 100. So keep in mind a fraction or a percent. So if it's 12%, that's going to be the same thing as 12 over 100. So any percent is really a number over 100, so we can rewrite it as that. Now we could simplify this. We could divide it by 4, which would give us 3 over 25. You always want to reduce then. But if it doesn't fit on this, you can always put it over 100, whatever the percent is, and then simplify it down. So 66% as a decimal. Well, decimal would be right here. We move it once, twice. We're 0.66. Okay. 40% as a fraction. Well, 40 we know would be 40 over 100, which we could reduce by 10 to be 4 over 10, which we divide by 2, which would mean it is 2 over 5. 2.4 as a percent. So percent from a decimal, we go 2 to the right. So once, twice would be 240%, because we go one more, so we have to add in a 0. Do that one. Now, how do you write 125% as a fraction, mixed number, or whole number? So that doesn't mean you have to write it as each of those. You're just going to write it in whichever one it fits. So 125%, well, we could write it as 125 over 100. Well, how many hundreds can go into 125? Well, one of them. And we would have 25 over 100 left. Well, I can divide both by 25, and I get 1 and 1/4, which would be our mixed number, so that's why it's there. Say this divided out evenly, well, then it'd be a whole number. And if it wasn't over 100, then it would be a fraction. So that's where that's coming from. And that's it. That's it for this lesson. So let me know if you have any questions. Remember, you can always pan me, email me, send me a message on Google Classroom. Keep in mind, you can always pause this and write something down if I'm going too fast. Otherwise, you can always rewind and watch something again if something didn't quite make sense. So please do those things. Otherwise, until next time, we'll talk to you later.